Good morning and welcome back to Grindhouse, where we drink coffee and talk about movies. I'm Shawn Tetrault, and today with my girlfriend and co-host Leah Diana, we will be winding back the reels to 1987. Twins Todd and Terry seem like sweet boys, that is, until one of them takes an axe to the face of a fellow patron at a local drive-in. Todd is blamed for the bloody crime and institutionalized, whilst twin brother Terry goes free. 10 years later, and as the family gathers around the table for Thanksgiving, the news comes in that Todd has escaped. But has the real killer, in fact, been in their midst all along? One thing's for sure. There will be blood and rage. In Blood Rage. Let's get into it.
Looks like you're gonna get a chance to meet the rest of the family. My psychotic brother just escaped.
Just don't want to spoil things.
We also need more turkey?
No, I'm pretty good, thanks.
I don't like to talk about my brother. He gives me nightmares.
I mean, it is Thanksgiving.
You know, somebody ought to tell him to get inside. Nobody should be out with my brother around.
He looked exactly like Terry, except he had this really wild, crazed look in his eyes.
There's somebody after me and he's chasing me and he's trying to hurt me. You're gonna hurt my kitty. Oh, God.
You're a real sweetheart. You know that? A real sweetheart. It's not cranberry sauce, Artie. It's not cranberry sauce.
Spread the word, you dirty cocksuckers. Tell all your grave robbing friends I want them out of the city now!
The nightmare of insane murder. From the depths of hell. Smoke the angel of death. Only at the Grindhouse.
We are back to the horror genre.
What a ride today has been.
Oh yes, and it's literally only 9:30 in the morning.
9:25 a.m. And already from laughing and cheering, my voice is shot.
This one was definitely an experience. I'm honestly so glad I hadn't seen it until this point.
Oh, good Lord. Everybody meet Phil. This is Phil. Great guy. Probably the nicest guy in the movie. He's just hanging around.
Oh, God. Wow.
So, sweetheart, I am going to let you take point on this one.
I'm going to do my best. I didn't, step by step write this stuff out.
I comment step by step this, and let me tell you. Damn!
So, today we watched Blood Rage. This one was written by Bruce Rubin, directed by John Grissmer. It stars Louise Lasser, Mark Soper, Julie Gordon, and Jane Benson, I believe is how you say your last name. This one came out on March 29th, 1987. However, it was originally shot in 1983.
Yeah.
So this one kind of just got shelved for a number of years before it finally got released.
And then I noticed that the title that comes up is Slasher, not Blood Rage.
Yes, so this one was initially titled Slasher when it first came out. When it was finally released, they changed the name to Blood Rage. However, when it was released in foreign regions, it got retitled again.
What was that title? I think I saw it was retitled.
Nightmare at Shadow Woods.
Which makes sense because the complex is called Shadow Woods. Oh, dear God.
And let me tell you, this movie was a fucking trip.
It was a roller coaster, but it was an enjoyable roller coaster.
I actually don't have any budgetary information on this
There was
movie.
nothing. I was looking for shit, too. There's nothing on there on the web.
I wish I knew how much this was made for. Unfortunately, I'm assuming a lot of it was probably off the books.
Yeah.
but it looks like they had some decent money behind this one.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I mean, they had a whole complex, swimming pool, tennis court. It was really confusing because I thought they were at university.
So did I at first.
At the start. But then it came, like, later on, it was like, oh, I live in that one, and he lives in this one, and we all live at the complex, and we grew up together. It's like, oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Well, the thing for me is, like, I didn't even realize that it was in a condo thing.
Yeah.
Until that moment where, like, the boyfriend comes out and he's like, I'm the manager here. And I was like, what?
We both looked at each other like, you're the manager of the house? Like,
yes.
How cocky are you being like, I'm the manager here?
Yeah, it wasn't until right after where he's, like, outside with the cops and he's like, my office is over there.
Yeah.
They live there. I was like, oh, okay.
He's the manager of the complex. So why do you date damaged women?
Why not? That's all he's got.
Jesus. Oh, okay.
So we open this movie with the opening shot is a drive-in marquee. And it reads, "The House That Cried Murder."
I want to see this movie.
I'm pretty sure it's not a real movie. There is a movie called The House That Dripped Blood.
Ooh.
But I felt like that was very appropriate because it's like this is what you're in for. It's just violent murder the entire way through.
Oh my God. If the cover of this movie doesn't tell you, like, you're in for a treat. Who is this woman and where was she in the film?
She's not.
She's not.
Everybody in the movie's blonde.
Everybody meet Rando Lady.
So this type of stuff would happen a lot.
It happened
in the
with
80s.
As Soon the Darkness.
They essentially, especially with covers like this where it's a painted cover. They would essentially, while the movie was still in production, they would hire somebody to create a cover, and they would just be like, it's a violent horror movie.
And that's not even the weapon that was used.
No, they just give them elements, and they're like, oh, it's like,
paint us a picture.
People get stabbed, murdered.
Lots of screaming ladies.
Yeah, there's lots of nudity with women and stuff, and then the artist would just come up with something.
You know, surprisingly, not as much nudity as I thought there would have been.
No, there's only one actual nude shot.
I mean, there was the one in the beginning where you saw just one of her boobs.
Yep. All right, you're right.
And then she's in the shower, and then we see her again on the diving board.
Yeah.
That's it. But you don't see, like, crotchal nudity at all. No. You see bums. And maybe a couple of boobs. And it's like, oh, the nudity's tasteful in this movie.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
The gore, on the other hand?
Oh, the gore in this one was over the top.
There was stupid amounts of gore. I think I read where they did put this on late night television, and the entire scene of the two in the swimming pool is cut entirely because they thought it was too much. And I'm like, I've seen shit like that at 10 o'clock on, like, cable TV now.
Yeah.
Like.
And so we get a lot of gore in this, and I'm just going to say now, like, the practical effects throughout this movie are fucking awesome.
They're amazing.
Like, you start with a violent hatchet in the face.
Several times.
A severed hand.
Severed head.
They give us Todd's doctor screaming bloody murder while she's ripped in half in the woods. And a severed head strung up by electrical cords.
Now, I will say, no babies were harmed in the making of this movie.
No.
And I really was kind of disappointed he didn't kill the baby. Now, that makes me seem like a really twisted individual,
you
but
fucking monster.
The way this movie went and the way it ended, he should have killed the baby.
He probably should have killed the baby.
He should have killed the baby. Honestly, now that girl is stuck with that baby for the rest of her life. What is she going to do? Put the baby down?
I don't. Realistically, the baby would go to child services. She's not. She had no relation to that kid.
No, but the trauma that she's endured with the child, she's not going to give it up.
She would have no choice legally.
And the cycle continues.
Listen,
trauma begets trauma.
we'll get to
Woo!
the climax.
Woo! I
but-
cheered.
So immediately, for me, the synth,
Oh my
synthy
God.
score had me. Like I was
Yep.
in.
Where the big orchestrated weird metal music from Lady Hawk was like awesome but weird, the synth was perfect in this movie.
Oh, it was beautiful.
It fit beautifully.
It was like heavily like energetic and it like at times upbeat and it felt very, you could tell that this movie was meant to be fun.
Yes. I mean, look at the way Terry acted in the movie.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Holy shit.
He was having so much fun with this part, and that's something to note is that the actor
Soper.
Yes.
Mark? Mark Soper?
Was it Mark? Yeah, Mark Soper plays both Todd and Terry.
And you would think it's two different people.
Yeah.
100%.
They did a really good job making him look very different in both roles.
Yep.
And he carries himself and portrays himself completely differently.
Yep.
And yes, overall, every performance is cheesy as fuck, and it could have been done 1,000 times better.
Oh God,
but
yes.
I think he was having fun with this part,
Yeah.
or these parts, and I think he sold it really well.
I think cheesy works for these movies. You have
it
to
does.
be. You can't be too serious with this. It's an 80s slasher.
Yeah.
Why are you going to be serious and broody and no, you gotta be cheesy. You gotta be Velveeta, guys. Be Velveeta.
Drop the Velveeta.
No.
You're too liberal with Velveeta already.
Where did I hear that?
It's the fucking lady I just interviewed uses it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's for one of your actual work gigs, and she said that, and we were like, "What?" Now I'm using it. I love it. That's a thing. So in the beginning of this movie, right when we start with the credits, there is a small part which I was very excited to see. Was oh my god! You said his name. It's not Sam.
No, it's so in the very it's still the very early opening credits of this movie, we get the
extremely young
film debut cameo of Ted Raimi.
Yep.
And he's playing this random dude who's
selling condoms in the bathroom
to perverts in the fucking bathroom of the drive-in.
Gotta make your money somewhere there, Ted, huh?
He has no lines. He's just there.
He just goes, Trojan.
It's awesome.
Oh, man.
I actually would love to know why Ted Raimi is in this movie. Like, Sam Raimi had nothing to do with it, so...
Maybe it was just... Maybe he's friends with the director, the producer, or maybe Mark Soper.
I'm assuming...
I don't know.
Actually, hang on. Do I have it there? Yeah, this was actually even prior to Sam Raimi being involved in film.
Oh, because it's 1983, you said. This would have been filmed in 1982.
Yeah, so Sam Raimi was... Oh, no, Ted Raimi at the time of doing this was only 19.
Okay.
I think he got involved in movies when Sam did, or right around the time Sam did, and he was in his early 20s at that point, so... He had to have been friends with somebody.
Had to have been.
But it was so fun to see him in this.
Just seeing him, I'm like, I know that face. Whose face is that? So one thing I was shocked about was, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this dude selling condoms in the bathroom? Cut to almost 90% of these people having sex at a drive-in.
Yes.
And everybody can see you fucking. Why?
I know that people used to do this. Some probably still do, but
I'm sorry, I'm going to a drive-in to watch the movie.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something I would ever do, but
no,
especially
on the hood of a car. There's one couple just starting to get straight Mac into it. I'm like, what?
I don't think that ever would happen.
That is an exaggeration, and you are lying to the younger generation that you guys had sex on cars.
Yeah. But there is a stereotype of in the backseat of the car at the drive-in kind of thing.
Yeah, you straight doing the nasty.
Yeah, I'm definitely sure people have done it. We get some classic parental neglect as the mom and her boyfriend try to fuck with the kids sleeping in the backseat.
And then the kids wake up, and then they leave the car while mom's getting all hot and heavy with her absolute asshole of a boyfriend who she's like, oh, my kids are in the car. And he's like, they're asleep. Come on, baby. It's like, y'all just think with you dicks. Seriously? There are children in the car. So I don't know if this is the right line, but I heard, mom's fucking again. Let's get out of here.
I don't think it was
I don't think so, but like it
was along that line.
It was along those general lines, and I think it was Terry who said it to Todd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, let's get out of here. And straight right there, you know there's something wrong with that kid.
I think it was kind of a mom's at it again. We can get away.
We can run away kind of thing.
Which leads us to a little boy axe fucking a dude in the face while he's trying to fuck his girlfriend.
He gets an axe. I don't know where he got the axe from.
It's like from the back of somebody's pickup.
It's
or
like
something.
like an emergency kind of like thing you would keep like in the back of a pickup when you're camping.
Well, the truck he took it out of was like it had a bunch of like other like work shit in the back.
Oh, okay.
So.
And he's peeping into the car, and this dude is like...
Not so much peeping, he's literally sticking his head in the window.
He's like doing this into the car, and he's like smiling so psychopathically, and Todd's in behind him like, what are you doing? What's happening? You got an axe there. And I just put, it's hammer axe time.
Oh yeah, because it's one of those little hatchets that has like,
the hammer on the back. Oh my god. And he just straight fucking axe fucks his eyes and his mouth, and oh my god. And the lady's like, screaming, ass butt naked, running. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then Terry just wipes everything on Todd, hands him the thing, and goes, oh my god, Todd, what did you do? Mom, what did you do? And I'm sitting there going, Todd, react. Todd, do something.
Well, all right, so I get what they were kind of trying to do there was like he was in shock from seeing it. And it's like, okay, but there's no mystery whatsoever in this movie who it is.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no
you
mystery.
know who the killer is throughout the whole fucking thing.
Yep, they're like, hey, you're going to see where it started, and you're going to watch all of these fucking dumbass people around him get picked off one by one because they're stupid.
Yes.
Because they don't realize, like, even when they start introducing him as an adult, he's fucked up. He's very, like, do you guys not see that something's up with this kid?
Yeah, he's a little bit, like he doesn't care.
No.
Like you see it right in that dinner scene before they hear that Todd escaped.
Yeah.
Like, where he's talking to the other girl, but he's got his arm around this girl.
His girlfriend, and there's this whole subplot of he's been really out of it and hasn't, like she feels like, oh, he's been out of touch, and he's like distant. I don't understand.
Wouldn't he have always been like that to some degree?
Yeah, really? So that after, Terry kills the man and blames Todd, we see the mom go to the psychiatric institute.
Yes.
And there's an overdub or a dub over of the psychiatrist talking to the mom.
Yeah, so that's something I noted was like first of all, there's a few areas of this movie where like the audio leveling doesn't feel right.
Yeah, that was way too loud, that whole narration thing.
Like there's a lot of scenes where like the mom is like whisper talking and it's like hard to hear.
There was a whole scene that I didn't hear her. I was like, I'm not turning this up any louder because it's 8:00 in the morning.
And this scene in particular was one of the first real hard ones because like their dialogue is, I think, purposely low.
Yeah.
But then they chose to, for some reason, do this audio dub of like a therapist recording, like her notes on the conversation.
Like, what is going on?
I don't know if it was like maybe the audio of the scene got recorded too low, so they were like, "Oh, we got to do something
here. Because it's the only time that happens."
Yeah, I almost felt like it would have been better to see that scene play out.
Yeah.
Hear it, and then maybe like cut to her at her desk, talking, like recording this.
Talking into the
Just one shot, just one pulling in shot of her recording this.
Yeah.
This
because
note.
everything that was happening in the scene, word for word, is what was happening. And I'm like, wait a minute, why? Like, as she's like, and the mother got very upset, and you can see the mom in the background yelling, no, no, and I'm like,
yeah, it was weird.
Okay.
Like, it just didn't fit.
Choices.
Yeah, I think it was a necessity thing. It had to have been.
Yeah, there must have been something wrong. I believe maybe the psychiatrist audio got fucked up and they couldn't fix it. So maybe they were like, okay, you're just going to dub over this and then we'll play it out like you're living the memory out. But then once that's over, well, obviously, poor psychiatrist doesn't last very long. Sorry. So after that, like, there's that whole scene where Todd has told the psychiatrist it wasn't him, it was Terry that did it and blamed him. Mom doesn't believe him. Mom thinks Todd is an absolute psycho, and Terry is her precious baby boy. There is definitely... Do you feel like there's... Is it an Oedipus complex in this?
A bit, yeah.
Or like a reverse, like she idolizes her son because he's like the world.
He's the non-broken one.
Yeah, and like... Lady, you fucked up if you can't tell which one of your kids is, you know, is which.
Well, I actually have something about that I'd like to just talk about a little bit. It's going to jump us ahead a bit.
Yeah.
But, so there's a scene later on in the movie where, like, throughout the whole film, we kind of see, like, the mom, like...
Descent into madness.
Yeah, she's in, like, shambles. Because it's, like, you have that scene at the therapist's office where, like, she actually kind of sees Todd break down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, later on, when she finds out he escaped, like, she starts to, like, freak out about it.
She stress eats. She starts binge drinking.
Yeah.
She, like, at one point, like, she took a shower. It's like all of her walls, as you're seeing it, are coming down on her.
Yes.
And then I noticed her music is very sweet and somber.
It is.
There's all the synth, all the 80s, like, slasher cliche ends. And it's very soft and very sad. And I'm like, I feel bad for this mom.
It's worth noting the mother's played by Louise Lasser, who I feel like she's trying to give a very strong performance here. And she's surrounded by a movie that's ultimately cheesy, which makes her cheesy.
And she's trying to do a serious... And I applaud her for trying to be serious.
Yeah.
You can see her trying. But, one... Her hairstyle is fucking ridiculous, and it takes me out of it. It's 2 flowers and what appears to be huge pigtails of curls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're supposed to be like their mother. Why do you look kind of like an innocent child? Like, that's what I was like, oh, she's wearing these flowy outfits, these flowy dresses, and then by the end, her hair is completely wet and matted, and she's in a robe, and she's, like, broken down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they tried so much to, like, have this character, the layers of her, just completely come down.
Well,
in a movie that's surrounded by nothing but cheeseballs. It's like,
So, like I said, there's a scene later in the movie where she's on the phone with an operator trying to get a hold of her boyfriend, who by that point is dead. She doesn't know it.
Yeah.
But I'm watching, like, and this is a scene that's broken up with other scenes, so it's like we keep cutting back to her on the phone, like, trying to get a hold, and she's, like, freaking out.
She's, like, screaming at the operator, pleading with them, crying.
But I'm watching this scene, and, like, I'm watching her break down throughout this phone conversation.
Yeah.
And I started to wonder if they were trying to suggest that maybe she's as crazy as her son.
Yeah.
Which, by the end, is, like, confirmed.
Absolutely positive, yeah.
I was wondering if this scene is, like, all right, she's fracturing under the pressure of all of this. Like, her mind is not all there. And then I started to think, is she talking to anyone at all? Like, is there even an operator on the other line?
At one point there was. You could hear it in the beginning when she was like, what do you mean you can't get through?
Yeah, but
and then the line is quiet after a while.
I don't know if that was the movie just playing into her mind.
That's true. There was no one else around in those scenes.
Exactly. I don't know if anybody else was even there.
There's a scene where she's on the floor with all of the Thanksgiving leftovers, binge eating. And, like, she was so happy during that dinner until she got the phone call.
Yeah.
That maybe she was just trying to feel happy
Something,
again.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, like, this poor... And then she's, like, pouring a whole wine bottle into a glass. She's constantly drinking, like, left and right. And you realize, like, she's absolutely drunk off her mind. God only knows if she's taken anything, because at one point she just passes out in the middle of the hallway. It's like, this poor mom. But then by the end of the movie, you're like,
oh boy.
Oh no. Okay.
Well,
we should get back to...
Honestly, I'm probably reading too much into
Honestly,
some of
it's
this,
probably just
but...
like, oh, she got drunk because she was sad, and she was sad because she couldn't get it. No, but you have to realize, like, doing this type of thing, we're analyzing every single second.
Yeah.
And the director or the writer could have been like, yeah, no, it was none of that. Or, oh my God, did they actually get it? Was she actually descending into madness? Like, you never know unless you actually talk to the people who were involved in the creation.
And honestly, I wish I could, because
that would be so cool.
It'd be fun to talk to the people that made this.
Oh my God, and be like, huh, why didn't you kill the baby? Oh. So then we go to the scene where all the neighborhood kids, or the complex kids that grew up around each other, are playing football.
Yeah.
They're having a good time. And I guess someone new moves in. I think her name was Andrea, and her mom move in.
Oh, the other blonde.
Yeah. The other blonde, because there's like
12 blondes.
Yeah.
Everybody's blonde in this movie.
The only thing I noticed about that whole scene is fucking nipples. All I could see was Andrea's nipples.
Oh, through the dress?
Oh my God. I'm like, what the heck, guys? Oh, play football with your friends. No, put on a fucking bra. You're gonna get your ass whooped, woman. They invite him to, oh, you're new? Come to dinner later, because you're new and you don't know anybody. All right.
Was it just me, or was this dinner scene weird?
It felt very, very weird. Like, it was the boyfriend, the mom, Terry, the neighbor, the mom, and the girlfriend.
Karen.
And it was like, oh, this seems very awkward.
Well, I'm not even talking about, like, just the people attending. I'm talking about, like, so you have this dinner scene, the mom and the boyfriend do this marriage announcement thing. Mm-hmm. Terry is uncomfortable, very obviously, but he's like, congratulates them. But it keeps doing these cutaways to everybody's reaction shots.
Yeah.
And they're super close up. And it was just like, why are we seeing this? This is so weird.
I also realized that's when Terry's trigger started.
Yes.
And you don't realize it until the end of the movie. Terry doesn't want to lose his mother because I feel like he blamed it on Todd because he wanted his mom all to himself. I
can agree with that.
Yeah. And once they were like, oh, we're engaged, we're getting married, he just fucking, you watch something in his brain go.
Well, yeah.
I was like, oh.
You also see
shit.
it right after when, like, they get the phone call and the mother's trying to keep it
don't
hush.
say anything, don't. He's like,
he
my psychotic brother from the mental institution broke out. Have some peas. I'm like, the mom just is like.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, her
really
acting was great.
I like that they held on it too. They just held on her staring.
And you're just sitting there going, I felt like somebody at that dinner going, I'm uncomfortable. Yeah. Also, who has corn and peas at Thanksgiving?
My family usually does.
Oh, peas have no place in Thanksgiving dinner.
You just hate peas.
No. See, this is where we're fighting. Peas have no place in Thanksgiving. Green beans. That's your green.
Yeah.
Green beans. A spinach thing, collard greens, no peas, none. Peas are going to eventually kill everyone in the world. They're green, mushy, disgusting balls of grossness.
Her hatred of peas has finally bled into the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like when the Powerpuff Girls went against the broccoli people. I will fight against the pea people.
Oh, God. By the way, the mom was flaunting a lot of boob during dinner.
Like, really, like it was so pushed up, and I'm like, Is she innocent or a slut? What is happening here, guys? Because they portray her as this innocent woman going into madness, but she is a sloot. She's like, oh, I'm getting fucked in a car in the beginning with my kids in the backseat, and here's a lot of boob in my dress at Thanksgiving. Have some turkey.
I think she's kind of supposed to be one of those ladies who's like never had very good luck with men, and like she's kind of had
does anything to please them.
Yeah, she kind of had to flaunt a little bit to get men.
Because even her boyfriend, not a good person. Because when they go back into the bedroom and she's freaking out about Todd being like escaping.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh no, don't worry about it. Oh, he's just, probably hiding in a closet. Come on, babe, let's do this. And she's like, no, I can't. I need to clean. I need to organize. I need to do something. He is still trying to get in her pants.
Yeah, you're right.
Read the room, asshole. No sex tonight. Psycho kid got loose. I don't want to fuck knowing he could be standing outside and all of a sudden, hey, guess what, mom?
There's a lot of those dudes in this movie, though.
Oh my god, men in this movie are pigs. Except for Phil. Phil was a nice guy.
Yeah, he genuinely was.
He paid the babysitter. He was like, you guys shouldn't be drinking. Like, that's not good. Nope, you guys can't ride home. You guys should get a cab. And he gets this! Poor dude.
Hashtag justice for Phil.
Justice for Phil, man.
I'm putting that on the Instagram when I post this.
We're going to get random people going, what?
Oh, my next notes were about the boyfriend. Why he's like, why the fuck did he say he was the manager of the fucking house? And then I was like, oh, he's the manager of the condos they live in.
I got to go back to the beginning of the dinner scene.
Okay.
What was with the fake laughter when it opened up? They were just like, ha 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 ha. Everybody was fake laughing.
I think because the director probably just said, well, we're just going to cut into you guys laughing. So just like, ready, action, start laughing. So they all just did it.
Especially, what was it? Andrea's mom was just like, ha ha ha, ha ha. Obviously, like, I hate this. I put Terry as a fucking weirdo. I put, the boyfriend's name was Brad. I'm like, Brad's getting axed first. That's what I put because he was such a dick. I'm the manager. Question mark.
The manager?
Manager? What? And then I'm like, oh, he runs the we both, our reaction was just like, what?
I feel like they should have given us some context to that first. Like, they should have told us he was
I'm the manager of the complex.
Not even
just
that.
Just add a couple of words after that.
I think they should have stated something, maybe a scene or two before, where they say that they live in a condo, first of all, and then just maybe say something about him having to do something for another tenant. And that would have been enough.
You know what would have been good? During dinner, while he was waiting to carve the turkey, he could have looked at Andrea's mom and been like, how are you enjoying the complex? Is there anything I can help you with? Boom! Established right there.
Perfect.
Are there deleted scenes? Because they were like, no, gore needed to be in this. And you know what? Not disappointed with the gore. But just movie directors, producers, anybody. Add tiny little context clues for people like me, because I'm sitting there going, sometimes I watch a movie, I look at him, I'm like, I don't understand. And he's like, well, you missed this one thing. And I'm like, oh, that 2 and 2 made 4. Thank you. It's like context clues, people. Yeah. A single, 2-second scene would have added so much. But I digress. That's not even the worst part of this movie.
This movie, it's heavily fucking cheesy.
No, I wouldn't say worse. I wouldn't say worse. I would say that's the only qualm I have at the moment.
Okay. Something I really like about this movie is the fact that they never shy away from seeing the killer.
Yeah.
Like, they don't try to do, cut his head out of frame or anything like that, or follow his feet.
He was established in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Go into it.
Yeah, you get to see him fully, hacking people to pieces, and the movie's trying to lean on that idea of that we're dealing with twins and you're not gonna be sure which one is the killer. It was never a guess to me. Like, I knew, like, there's no hiding it at all.
This was a story of, you know who the killer is, you know who the victims are. Now it's watch the victims try to figure out what's happening around them.
Yeah.
Which I kind of enjoy those kind of movies, being like, oh, I know everything. Now I get to watch what happens.
I honestly thought they were going to do something in the end where, like, they did a bait and switch. Like, they did something where they would look exactly the same or similar. When they fell into the pool, I thought something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because they were both soaking wet, so their hair wasn't different anymore.
But they still had different shirts. That's the only real reason how you could tell.
That's why I thought they were, like, going to do something. They were fighting. Shirts got ripped off or something. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe
in a
they're
movie
gonna...
of sex, showing a little bit of skin and bait and switch might have been interesting, but...
But they didn't do that. You know,
No.
I'm kind of surprised. Spoilers, but, you know, I'm kind of surprised.
I am. Very surprised. Oh, no, we're not spoiling the best part. Not yet! Woo! As soon as the mom started going crazy, like cleaning and everything, I hate this mom. Kill her. Soundtrack is awesome. Oh, then we get to Todd has made it to the complex.
Yeah.
Todd's there, but Terry starts getting a little weird, so he leaves his mom to clean and go kind of crazy. And he goes and sees Brad, the manager. Now, I have to laugh because in the background of Todd's thing, he has a Christian radio program on the whole time.
Yeah.
And I noticed this.
Wait, you mean Brad's?
Brad's, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He had a Christian radio program in his office playing the whole time. And I noticed this and I was like, oh, the director put this in on purpose. He put all of this in on purpose.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Because at one point, you can hear him go, an eye for an eye, a hand for a hand. And what's the first thing he loses?
He gets his hand lopped off.
His hand. He loses his hand. And I just put, need a hand? Yeah, his death scene was pretty fucking awesome. Just, bam! Ah!
Blood fucking
Oh
everywhere.
my god, there's blood everywhere.
Then he gets propped up.
Propped up like
there.
this, waiting for his girlfriend's phone call.
Oh my god.
I was like, Terry, you fucking bastard. Let's see.
Since we're getting close to it, I have to say the women in this movie are so fucking blunt about everything.
They really are.
Like the
the girlfriend.
So, well, yeah, that's one of them. But it's very surprising. Like normally you don't have women being like super in your face about shit. But like Terry has one girl that's basically throwing her tits in his face through a sheer white shirt. Yep. And then his girlfriend, his actual girlfriend, is flat out telling him that
I would like to sleep with
you. She wants to get stuck real good.
She wants to get stuck. Is that what you put? I love it. She wants the Dickens. Woo!
Granted, when she says that, she says to Terry.
She says it to Todd, and Todd's just like acts like a normal dude. Like, I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry, excuse me.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I've never been kissed. Excuse you? That's psychotic. That is not psychotic. Look, all sorts of people live in this world. Some people can be into like 20s, 30s, 40s. Never been kissed, never had sex. I don't judge people. So her reaction to, oh my god, he's psycho, he's never been kissed. I was like, look, Karen. Real name's Karen. Don't be judgy, Karen. Then we get to the psychiatrist just showed up. Oh, that's why Brad said he's the manager. The psychiatrist shows up with her helper. Don't know his name.
Some dude.
And says, we're looking for Todd. We're going to walk around and look. We think he's going to come back here, which is fine. So they're around, walking around, looking around. Brad says, well, he could be on the patios behind the condo, or there's a nature walk behind in the forest. So she's like, I'm going to take the nature walk. You know where this is going. And helper dude says, I'll look on the patios. Looking on the patios, he's walking around, and he gets to one of the patios, and I don't know exactly how it happens, but he runs into Terry.
Well, he decided to stop and smoke a blunt.
Oh, yeah, he decided to light it up real. Oh, the psychiatrist said I need to calm down. Bitch, don't calm down with a blunt right now. You are looking for a supposed psychopath.
But yeah, Terry stumbles upon him.
Oh my God.
They share a smoke. And
then... Hang on. This was one of the favorite things he said. Gosh, you two sure look alike. That's what a fucking twin is, idiot. Gosh, you two... Oh, geez, you guys look a lot alike. He says it like 2 or 3 times. And then Terry just gets fed up and just like, gone. He's dead. So that's 2 people dead in like less than 20 minutes, I believe. Yeah. So then the psychiatrist, don't know what her name is. I don't think they ever mention her name. She's in the woods looking for...
That, just random fact, that part was actually played by one of the producers, Marion Cantor.
Oh, really?
She stepped in to play that part. Oh, her name is Dr. Berman.
Oh, maybe they did say Berman at one point.
She stepped in to play that part because the original actress never showed up. So.
Damn! Look, whoever bailed out, you missed out. That death scene.
Holy
My exact words were, stress eating. Was the mom sitting on the floor, like with her legs spread open, eating peas and
just stuffing her
just
fucking
shoveling.
face.
I was like, this poor mom. And then we get to Dr. Berman in the woods, like, Todd, can a machete do that much damage?
It can, but not in like one. You have to hack the shit.
That was a clean sweep. And if you're hacking, she ain't screaming like that. She has a bloody torso from here down. Just, I'm like, what is happening?
Oh, it was
and
incredible.
her legs are in the background. Just kicking. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that might be the best death in the movie.
And then he keeps saying over and over, that's not cranberry sauce. And he licks the machete.
Nummy.
What? Oh my God. Karen says a line at this point because she meets back up with her friends, like in the parking lot, and says, oh, I just encountered Todd. And that's where she says, oh, Terry, I've been thinking about it and I want you to make love to me. And I'm just like, oh, I want you to sleep with me. I'm like, okay. I was like, this sounds terrible. But I can see her frustration. Like, how long have you guys been dating? Like, how long has he been like, maybe he knows that because he said he's a psychology major. Maybe he knows that, sex is a trigger for me. So maybe he's like trying to see if he can study to get help. Maybe Terry was actually trying to be a decent person. And then this whole thing with Brad and his mom getting engaged, like, snapped him out of it and he went psychopathic.
Maybe.
Again. But, oh God.
So at some point, relatively around this part of the movie, we cut away to another terrible mother.
The mom that went out on the date.
The pearl necklace lady. Yep. That's what I called her.
There's a different phrase for that.
She, something I noticed about this scene, and this is the scene with Phil. With Phil.
Hashtag justice for Phil.
Was why the fuck did all this furniture seem too small for the actors?
They probably had to go to a Goodwill and get shit and fill. Or it was the same apartment and they just had to take shit out and put shit in constantly. So they were like, oh, do this, then this, then that.
That couch, like, Phil's sitting on it and his knees are up to his face. Like,
I don't know. It's the 80s. And it's wicker furniture, wasn't it? It was that weird wicker.
It wasn't wicker. It was like those, those ones that had like the wood on the arms that went to the floor, but then it was like that shitty pattern for the rest of it.
Honestly, the 80s were a very strange time, and nowadays, like, look at couches and chairs. They are super oversized now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't care if you want a decorative couch. It better be oversized and comfy in this day and age. I need to lounge on it and scroll on TikTok for hours. And there was no way I'm scrolling on TikTok like this in that little fucking couch. I took TikTok off my phone, okay? I'm not as addicted, I promise. I'm still addicted.
Oh, God.
Well, Karen says a line when she meets up with the friends in the convertible. She goes, must have been a drag, your brother being a psychopath and killing people. Must have been a drag. Murder is a drag, Karen.
I mean, yeah.
I hated this girl. I wanted her to get stabbed in the face the whole time.
Everybody in this movie is an asshole.
Except for the mom until a certain point, and then I'm like, yeah, no. Yeah.
Well, we start getting introduced to the fact right about here where that this is where she starts chugging wine.
Oh, yeah.
And pretty soon she's a drunken mess passed out in the hallway.
And Todd finds her.
Yep. And this scene was both extremely uncomfortable and fucking hilarious. Because he picks her up from the hall, he brings her into her room, lays her back in bed, and she wakes up.
She calls him Terry, and he's like, yup, I'm Terry.
He's like, obviously very like, yeah, he's just trying to play into it because he knows she's drunk.
Yeah, but he's not used to his mother's love, so
Right.
she's giving him affection at this point. Oh, I just went back to it.
He tries to leave, and she's like, come back here and kiss your mother on the mouth.
It was more like, couldn't hear anything in this fucking scene she said until she was like, it was like Dr. Evil, like,
No, that was...
like, come here, come. And then they full on mouth kiss.
Oh, God.
They, like, mouth kiss, like, I'm like, alright, 80s were a different time, but don't mouth kiss your mom like that.
So bad.
It was like at least 2 Mississippis. I'm sorry. No. Like, I am all for, saying I love you to my family and giving them, like, a kiss on the cheek. I didn't think it was weird till, like, maybe a few years ago that I do that. We do that in my family. It's not a big deal. You give each other a kiss. It's fine. After watching this, it's a little weird. I'm going to be like, no, I'm not kissing you guys anymore.
It's weird.
It's
always weird.
I like your mom's thing. She hugs you and then she's like,
You just cheek touch.
She just goes,
You cheek touch and then make the kiss sound. That's what she does.
I love your mom.
My mom is weird.
No, your mom has it right, because other than that, if not, you end up like this mom.
That's true. Mom,
You don't
if
want
you're
to.
listening,
Nope.
thank you for being
Don't mouth
human.
kiss your mom or dad on the mouth. It's just after you're like a certain age, don't do it. And people that do, not judging you. I'm not judging you, but it's just to me, it's weird.
To be fair, if you're a child,
yeah,
you know what? It's fine. You don't know any better. Like you just. Oh, that's what a kiss is.
Yeah.
You know what? Fine. But as you get older, you should be growing out of that shit. And your parents shouldn't be making you do it. Anyway.
I gotta go back to the scene where Karen's with the boys in the car.
Yeah.
Because it's a little prior. Did you notice the song that kept playing in the car?
No.
I'm gonna get you was repeated so many times. It was like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you.
Really?
Yes, in the song. And I laughed. I'm like, the song keeps repeating this, I'm gonna get you. Mm-hmm. And Terry slowly gets every one of them.
He does.
And not slowly. He's like, oh, hey, friend, how are you? Jesus.
That's some of the fun that I loved about this movie. It's like the scenes that would normally be like tense and dramatic and like the killer stalking his victims. This guy literally just walks into the scene. He's like, what up, bro? And stabbing people.
Like, hey,
awesome.
long time no see. Karen, you're no fun. Come play with me. I want to stab you in the face.
It's such a change of pace from regular slashers.
Oh my god, it was so funny. Let's see.
So coming up here, we've got the scene where you think that Terry killed 2 of the people, but they somehow these 2 dipshits had quality effects makeup, and they play a joke on them.
Yeah, they have she looks like a fucking witch that got like acid thrown in her face, and he's got a single cut.
Yeah,
I was like, what happened?
What the fuck?
I would like to establish, does she know how to do FX makeup? Like, where did this come
just
from?
there.
Nothing. It just happens. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's a mask. It is not a mask, because she says while she's in the shower, full nude scene, oh, I gotta get all this stuff off. And I'm like, what context? I would like just a single scene or something like, oh, I do FX makeup. I'm going to school for it.
Just anything. Anything.
Because then it goes into that. They're scaring the two of them. Also, that scene prior, a little weird. They're playing like Super Nintendo or Atari.
I think it was Atari.
On the floor, and the girls are like, "Oh, hey, we're back here. You know, we wanna do dirty things." And they're like, "I'm gonna get you." I'm like, either the men want to fuck or they're 5-year-olds.
The one guy gets up.
Oh yeah,
He's
soon as she's
that
like,
sounds good.
as soon as they're like, "Oh, we're drinking and like getting frisky," and he's like, "Okay." I'm like, what is going? Like that one kid, I think Artie was a good kid. I really was bummed about Artie.
Artie didn't deserve his fate.
Hashtag justice for Artie.
Hashtag justice for Artie.
So we did miss the scene with the mom and the little girl.
Yeah.
We kind of passed by that. So, Andrea is babysitting the baby for one of the neighbors.
Yeah.
Who went out to, quote unquote, "Mama's gonna get you a rich daddy." She says this to the baby as she's getting undressed and putting negligee on. I was like, no, don't kill the mom. She's sweet. Never mind, she's crazy. Get her.
Never mind, she's crazy.
Why did I say bitch didn't shoot it right?
What?
Bitch didn't shoot it right.
I have no idea.
I don't remember. Oh look, they're gonna fuck. So Phil is like, oh look, they're checking out all the alcohols. He's like, oh, cream de menthe, that's nice. Ooh, coconut. Ooh, that's nice. Not for children. Alcohol shouldn't be for children. And I'm laughing. Phil is such a cool character. I'm like, I want more of Phil.
He's a genuine dude.
He's a nice guy.
Super, like, clean cut.
Yeah. And when she's like, I'm going to slip into something more comfortable, he's like, visibly like, okay.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Am I going to have sex? Is this how I make love? Like, he really does look a little like, young Mr. Rogers gonna die. That's what I called him. I called him young Mr. Rogers. Poor thing. And then as they're doing all this, you hear a knock. Terry at the door. And he's like, yeah, because Phil says, oh, it's that kid that was just here. Well, let him in and see what he wants. And you do. You don't hear anything until you hear the record fall and skip.
Yeah.
And then it stays on repeat the entire time. But she doesn't really notice at all. She's too busy getting ready. After that, she goes to answer the door. And she's in just a sheer robe. I'm like, that sheer robe is not hiding the fact that you're half naked, lady. Oh, and then the next word is no, not the mouth kisses. Oh, I said, oh, look. She opens the door and it's this scene.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, he's just trying to get ahead in life.
Oh.
Let's see. And then you get the scene with the mom and Todd where you realize, I put poor Todd, his brother took his entire life away. He just wants his mom's affection and approval. And I put, no, not the mouth kiss. Ew.
My next note here brings us to the tennis court thing.
Yep.
So I forget the characters' names. I think it was Angie and the other.
I don't remember
kid.
the other dude, but it was Andrea or Angie. Yeah.
But they go out to a tennis court. They're playing tennis for a minute. He knocks the ball too far. She goes to get it.
Yep.
There's like a fake out thing where Todd's like trying to lure him out. But she comes back.
Yep.
And he suggests that they get frisky, and she's like, no, not here. Let's not do it in the open on a tennis court in the dead of night. Let's fuck on a well-lit diving board in a public pool instead.
Right. Also, I said I was gonna say this when it came up. Angie said, oh, I want to play tennis, and the dude looks at her and goes, okay, and I went, you want to play tennis with these nuts? Play, come on, bat these nuts.
I also thought that was kind of funny where they were the scene right before they were like, yeah, I think we're gonna play tennis,
and I'm like,
it's like an innuendo.
Yes,
and then it cuts to them playing tennis.
On a tennis court. I'm like, I thought we were fucking. And like, oh, not here. We'll do it somewhere else. I'm thinking they're going to go back to her house, quiet, something.
No.
Well lit.
Public
inside.
pool.
And it's covered with glass.
Yep.
So anybody can see you fucking on the diving board right there.
It was just so fucking stupid.
But it brings us to anticlimactic, but almost the best, like, death. Because Terry shows up.
Yeah.
And the dude tries to get up and get away, and he slashes his throat, pushes in the pool, and he goes, "Bad friend! Very bad friend!" I'm like, what? And then he, like, cuts Andrea's face, the same spot where the FX makeup was, I noticed.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how else she dies, because she goes off screen and then he gets her. If I remember.
I don't remember.
They don't show the rest of it, but I also believe, like, they were both buck fucking naked.
Yeah.
So maybe his, like, slash to the throat, thrown in the pool was, like, his out. And then, like, they didn't want to injure her. Because that machete didn't do the fake wobble thing at some point. So I wonder if the wider shots, he actually has a real machete.
No, it would be close-ups that he would have the real one. Wider shots would have likely been fake ones, just in case anything happened.
Well, I was wondering if that's, like, why...
Unless the fucking filmmakers were just stupid.
Yeah.
But
I put, wow, it's just a hack and slash pool party. Oh, my God. I put, oh, you're a real sweetheart. Call me Mr. Helpful. You're a real sweetheart. Call me Mr. Helpful. I forget what that was. Oh, there was some scene with Todd or Terry, one of the twins.
yeah, I don't know.
But then it cuts to Karen because, you know, Todd shows up or Terry shows up and she's like, "Oh, you know, I want to be alone with you." And he's like, "Okay." And then they go to start kind of making out in her, like, the living room of his house and shit. And he stops and walks away, and she has this, like...
There's a knock at the door.
That's right. And I put, "Gee whiz, why can't I get laid?" said Karen.
Yeah.
She's trying to straight fuck him the entire movie. Why do girls like bad boys? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
And this, that basically instigates the entire, like, lead up to the finale.
Oh, the knock on the door is Artie because Todd finds him, threatens him with a gun, and says, "I'm not Terry. Terry's the one killing."
And then they have that, like, small confrontation at the door where he, like, points the gun at him, but then he runs away.
Yeah.
For some reason.
And
then they try to go after Todd. And that initiates, like, unfortunately...
hashtag justice for Artie.
Hashtag justice for Artie.
Because Artie finds all of the weapons along the trail route on a bridge,
literally just in a pile,
sitting on, with something over it, and he's like, "Oh my God!" And Terry's like, "Oh, it's all Todd's. Todd's the one doing this." And he grabs a fire poker, what looks like
it's like one of those 2-pronged forks.
Yeah, and he shoves it right into Artie's neck, and I was like, "Oh!" And he keeps saying to him repeatedly, "That's not cranberry sauce, Artie." That they're trying to really sell that this happened on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
which I'm like,
not many Thanksgiving slashers.
It's the fork for the fucking turkey.
Yeah. You know what? I have a Thanksgiving slasher. Now, that's rare.
I mean, Thanksgiving. The killer turkey.
Yeah, that's a modern one though. Like this is.
It's true.
Back in the day.
Also, as you're seeing the death of Artie and Terry, I focused on the background where I saw somebody's arm fixing something and then getting out of the shot really quickly because he realized he was in it. I was like, oops, continuity error. And then Karen finds Terry again and is like, "Things have gotten out of hand. We should call the police." And then he just starts repeating, "Call the police. That's a good idea. Things have gotten out of hand. I said I love you." And he straight starts fucking attacking her.
Yep.
Ensues a wild fucking chase.
Yeah, this begins like a huge chase scene. She's running, screaming. She eventually finds like every corpse.
Yeah, she finds the other dude. She finds the pot dude, the helper. And then she finds Artie. And then Terry's behind Artie, making him clap, giggling. I'm like, Terry's fucking fucked up. And then we get to the scene with the little girl. So
Yeah.
Todd finds the little girl looking for her kitty prior. Lot of scenes prior. I forgot about this. And he says, there's a bad man out here. Go home, lock the door, don't let anyone in. Your cat will eventually come home, I promise. Cut to, Karen's banging on the door, trying to get in, being like, no, I'm being chased, help me. The man told me not to open the door for anybody. You're gonna hurt me. And I'm like, Todd is such a nice guy. He protected this little girl.
Yep.
But it essentially, like, fucked Karen.
It did.
I was like, oh no.
I do love that this chase sequence, towards the end of it, it starts to feel like the killer, like Terry pursuing her is just becoming less of a threat and more of a minor annoyance.
Yeah.
Because, like, by this point, she has the baby.
She got the baby out of the apartment.
In the pool area.
She knocked him in the nuts to get away from him. Yep.
She's sitting in the pool area with the baby, like, trying to catch her breath, and then, like, Terry comes in the background, and he's, like, fucking around, and she looks back, and she's like, oh!
She gets so upset, like, oh, come on!
I was just like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Okay, so then we cut to the mom going crazy, throwing stuff away, cleaning up, opens the trash, finds the bloody shirt. And I'm going, oh, now she's cluing in it's Terry. She doesn't. She doesn't clue in it's Terry. She still thinks it's Todd.
Yeah.
But it's the shirt that Terry was wearing for dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like, come on, Mom. Click it over. She goes to find her boyfriend finally because she's freaking out. She's like, Todd's killing. Todd's killing. And on the radio it says, you may fool your mother, but you won't fool the Lord. And then she finds him, moves the chair. Brad falls apart and his brain just opens up in half right there. And I'm like, oh, that is gorgeous.
Oh, man, that was a beautiful.
Oh, that was
beautiful
so
shot.
good.
We're getting very close to the final moments of this movie here. Mm-hmm. So I think now would be a good time to take a little break.
Is this ad time? Ad time.
It is. We'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled film talk for this important announcement. I know what you're thinking. Oh, God, not an ad. But trust me, if you have ever had a passing interest in podcasting, then you're gonna want to hear about Anchor. Anchor is a podcast platform by Spotify, and it is way easier to make a podcast with absolutely everything you need to capture your audience all in one place. Anchor has the tools to help you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And choosing to host with Anchor means that you can distribute your podcast on all major listening platforms, like Spotify, naturally, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. It also allows you to begin earning money with your show with no minimum listener requirements. Anchor was our first and only choice when we decided to start our show, and we cannot recommend it enough. So if you have an idea to podcast, don't wait any longer. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And we're back.
We're back.
So I have one problem with Karen. She's running around this complex trying to find places to hide.
Yeah.
In the bathroom of the pool place. In Terry's apartment. I was like, you fucking dumbass blonde. Get in a fucking car and drive away. They literally left the convertible on in the parking lot. Get in it and drive away.
Listen, Leah, eventually you're going to learn that if the characters do what they should do, there will be no movie.
Why can't there be a smart horror movie?
You know, someday maybe we'll actually see that.
Maybe you should make a smart horror movie. Maybe we should collab on this and make a smart horror movie.
You know, it's something funny. Like, we'll probably touch on this later when we eventually get to, like, Scream.
Yes.
But even that is probably the smartest horror movie there's ever been.
Yes.
But they still succumb to the cliches in that.
Scream is, and I'll say this because I've just seen it with you, like, maybe about a year and a half ago. I never fully watched Scream. Scream is the most well done, thought out, educated horror movie I've seen. Because not only did the killers, but the victims and the people that made the movie and the actors thought about everything. There is a reason why Matthew Lillard is an amazing actor to date. And I only knew him as Shaggy. And then I saw that and I went, now I know why he's a meme god.
Yeah.
Because he is an incredible actor. And then Skeet Ulrich, didn't know who that was until I saw Scream, like a couple years ago.
I would love, honestly, to write a movie where it's like all the characters are smart enough to do what you should do in these situations. Granted, I know that in these heightened situations you don't think clearly sometimes, but I'd love to write a movie where all the characters do the thing you should do. They are level-headed enough to be like, nope, we gotta do this, but the killer is still smarter.
Steps ahead of them.
That would be incredible.
That would be. It'd be like Sheldon Cooper being the murderer and the victim. You'd have a very smart person, but an even smarter killer. Like, that would be
hard to write, and it would probably take a long time to like make sure I had it all.
It would be hard to make it perfect. But in horror movies, it's not perfect because, like you said, you're being chased by a killer. You're not thinking clearly.
No.
But there's a difference between Scream, where they still fall for some of the cliches, and this, which is just a running fucking cliche for, what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Oh, yeah. I think it was like an hour and a half.
God, it was good. It was good.
Very good.
I absolutely fucking loved him jumping on the diving board. Just being like, hey, Karen, want to hang out? Like, and she's just like, at this point, she's just holding the baby, losing her mind. So, Mom shows up. Oh, no, Todd shows up.
Yes.
Todd and Mom? Or just Todd?
Todd first.
Todd shows up, and then they start fighting. Did you notice that Todd went for Terry's eyes?
When?
No, I'm sorry. Not. I'm a little ahead of myself. So they're fighting in the pool, and Karen helps get Todd out because he like did something and almost drowned him. Got him out. Terry gets out of the pool and he's like, I don't know, I'm gonna kill you guys. And he's being psycho. Mommy shows up. Mommy shows up with a gun.
Yeah.
Because Brad had a gun.
Yep.
So now Mom has it. And at this point, Mom shoots Terry.
Yeah, shoots him in the gut and then shoots him in the face.
Shoots him in the eye because he took Brad's hand. She took Terry's eye. An eye for an eye, a hand for a hand.
Oh, that's a good point.
See? I was like, oh, somebody thought of something.
I didn't think of that. That's good.
Isn't it? I was like, look, I found something.
Good on you, movie.
Yeah, right? And then I was like, once this happens and she kills him, she's holding Todd and she's like, my good boy, I'm so sorry. I'll never let it happen. And then she calls Todd Terry. And Todd's like, I'm Todd. I'm Todd. And the mother goes fucking crazy because she realizes
I killed my golden boy.
I killed my golden boy. My golden boy.
Because she was like, so that whole sequence, this whole scene is like he starts saying, I'm Todd. I'm Todd. And he like tries to break away from her.
Like realizing I'm never going to have your approval ever.
And she starts screaming, I'm Todd.
I'm
Todd. Like she realizing what she did.
Yep.
And the whole idea of the scene, I think, is supposed to be she's like...
She broke.
She could not accept that Terry was the one that did this the whole time.
Yes, that she was harboring the real psychopath and she put an innocent person in a mental institution for his life because she didn't believe him.
Right. And I think that's why she ultimately kills herself.
She turns the gun on herself and blows her brains out. And you know what? I cheered. Because one, this woman, there is no coming back from any of this. You your golden boy that you believed was a good boy and nothing ever wrong, just murdered, what was the kill count I put? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 10 people. 10 people and an 11th person when he was younger.
Yeah.
So this man is now a serial killer. Like, how do you come back from knowing that? And your other son, he's been locked up for 10 years. You don't even know who he is. He is almost an adult now, and you don't know who he is at all.
No.
Like, you just lost your boyfriend, your son, essentially the only one you had, and yourself. She had nothing left. It was, one, I have to say, this poor mom went through a lot. Like, it was a release. But two, how fucking stupid was she all the time?
Oh, she was so
she
stupid.
was like, I cheered. I was like, yes, this is the best way this movie could have ended. And it just ends on Todd turning around, looking at his mother about what she just did. That was it. That's it. Over.
Yeah.
Done.
It was a very, very interesting movie.
Yes.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Loved this movie.
I guess we can get right into our closing questions. Overall thoughts?
Oh my god. So happy it's in the collection. This is going to have to get another watch. I might have to be high for it. This is what I'd like to show friends. Like, oh no, this is stupid good. It is stupid, but it's good. Good God. The acting was cheesy. The story was very good. The concepts of the story was amazing. I don't see this ever getting popular at all, ever. Only because I feel like something like this has been done more recently. But to a more serious kind of degree where it's like not twins but brothers or, best friends or something. So this isn't an original story. People might not be excited by this, but man, good. So good.
I'm inclined to agree. Like, I think this is definitely a cult classic.
Yeah,
This has a huge following in the right circles. Otherwise, Arrow wouldn't be throwing it back out there.
Right?
This is an absolutely fun slasher movie. Like, this is definitely something I would love to watch with, like, a group of people and just, like, riff on it and shit the whole time.
MSTK 3000, the fucking thing.
Yeah. I think it's, by some degree, it's like an average slasher.
Yeah. There's
But
nothing that stands out too much.
no, like, in terms of plot, it's pretty basic, but the gore, the tone, all of that elevates, like, the performances even, elevate it to a fun and highly entertaining level. And I fucking loved it. Like, I would definitely watch it again. I would throw it on in the background if I'm doing stuff. Like, it's a good time.
I wish there was more gore, though. There could have been a little more.
Listen, there can always be more gore.
More. There should have been.
Always.
There should have been more blood. There should have been more blood.
It had a surprising amount of gore for a movie like this.
A very surprising amount of very little tasteful nudity.
Yeah.
It was tasteful. Some nudity in some movies are fucking ridiculous. Short of seeing actual penetration nowadays. Like, we're borderline fucking hardcore porns on some horror movies. It's refreshing to see the gentle softcore,
Yeah. Any favorites?
Oh, God. Favorite scene is that dinner. How unfucking comfortable all of them are after he goes, my psychotic brother just broke out. Have some turkey. Like, and they said, do you want some more turkey? No, thank you. Like, I was like, yes. I don't think I have any favorite lines. I think my favorite thing that happened was the eye for an eye, hand for a hand thing. I think that was kind of a nice. You have to really pay attention to that. Like, you have to be
That's
listening.
That's easily missed.
Yeah, easily. But I, it's your fault. It's all your fault. I pay attention to these things now.
You're welcome. I don't personally have any favorite lines. Like, the dialogue itself isn't that memorable.
It's not. No.
Favorite scenes, I think. I really liked the psychiatrist's death just because it was so over the top. And it made me die laughing. No. I really did like the phone call that the mother had with the operator. And that right at the end, like that scene where she's like realizing what she did.
Yeah.
Like that, those two, because you can like there's a lot of emotion in those, and you can kind of read into them a little. But yeah, I think that's about it for favorites. For me. Does it work?
Yes and no. No, because it's so fucking cheesy. Personally, I love it, but I wanted a little bit more. It was missing some things, some key context clues to put two and two together for some things. I wish we saw a little more of Todd. I wish there was more of him in the beginning to kind of like see how he snapped out of it. We only have the psychiatrist dialogue in the beginning. I would have liked to have seen a little bit of Terry, like how he was. Was he like okay after everything happened for the last 10 years? Was that whole your mom and I are getting married thing snapped him? It doesn't work in those parts, but it does work it is a 80s hack and slash gory horror movie.
Okay. I
disagree with
somewhat disagree.
Yes, he disagrees.
I personally think, and this is coming from somebody who absolutely fucking adores these fucking off the wall cheesy slasher movies.
You love them. I can see about 30 of them sitting there.
Like, for me, this is exactly what you want when you pick up a slasher movie. Like, you don't want to have to think about it too much. You just want gore and violence and like a crazy wild time. And this delivers on that in every fucking way possible. I personally think it does work. It absolutely works for what it's trying to be.
Yeah.
And it succeeds in every fucking way. Would you recommend it?
Yes. I would recommend this not for a first timer. Somebody who's established and has watched the big ones, the Halloween, the Scream, the Friday at 13th. The Friday at 13th. I merged fucking Nightmare on Elm Street and I'm going to have to reset. But yeah, after you've watched all of those and you're like, I'm a little bored. I want to see something new. Have you heard of Blood Rage? AKA Slasher? This is good. This is very good. Don't go into it thinking too much. Just sit there and watch it for a good time. Have a drink. Have a smoke. Have an edible. Have a good time with a couple people. Yes, I would recommend this.
As I mentioned last week, this was recommended to me by Bad Taste Video Podcast.
Oh, hey guys! It's a good
And
recommendation.
I am now absolutely recommending it to basically everyone else.
Do you know who I want to do? I want to buy this and send this to Red Letter Media. They would have a fucking field day with this movie.
I, like you said, I don't think I would recommend it to somebody who's never seen a slasher film.
Yeah, no, this is not where you start.
I'd always start them with something like Halloween, if possible Halloween, because that's the quintessential. But Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, things like that.
Yeah.
This is definitely like maybe your second one.
After you've watched Hellraiser, jump into this.
No. Oh no.
Hellraiser is a cakewalk compared to this.
I would say, like, as long as you've seen at least some, like, one or two slasher films, you could probably step into this. This is definitely elevated from most, but it's still
elevated from the originals, not elevated in terms of smart and, witty.
No, elevated in gore, if anything. Would you make this today, or how would you make this today?
No. Leave it in the 80s. Leave this precious little bean in the 80s where it belongs. You cannot replicate the makeup, the hair, the clothing, the way they talked, What would you do for a drive-in nowadays? You can't neck it at a fucking theater. You have to wear a mask at a theater now. Like,
Yeah.
like it's tough to do shit like this. Leave this in the 80s. This is great. Done.
Yeah, I don't think that I would want to see this made again today. Like, I think it could be done, but
They'd
essentially
ruin it. People would ruin
yeah,
this.
anyone doing it now would focus on. They'd show us more of the backstory, more of the childhood stuff. They'd show us more.
They'd make it serious.
Yeah, they'd add layers to it that don't need to be there.
Yeah.
They'd try to hide the killer's identity. They'd try to fake us out at the end. Like, they try to make you think it's somebody else, or they would change it to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's necessary. I like that you know who it is throughout the whole movie.
You're just in for a ride. That's all it
Yeah.
is. You are there to see the ride.
It's just fun the way it is, and I don't think I'd want it to be any different.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody made it, I'd still check it out to see what they did with it.
But I know you'd have the same reaction like you did with what the fuck is that movie that you hate for the MCU? Marvel. Captain Marvel.
Oh,
like when we
Jesus.
watched Captain Marvel, we were like, this is good. And then we thought about later and we're like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
No offense, Marvel. That's where you did it wrong.
I think
That
that's
movie sucks.
your worst one, honestly.
Yep, that's it. Worst one. I will watch. Which one's the Thor one that everybody hates?
Dark World.
Everyone hates Dark World. I enjoy it. You know why? Christopher Eccleston.
Fair.
Fair.
Okay, so now the big final question. Is this mainstream, exploitation, or other?
I'm leaning towards other, but I'm going to say its toes are dipped in a swimming pool of exploitation. They're playing with the water, but it's not completely submerged. This is other. But there's a little toe in exploitation. We're dabbling. What do you think?
I'm gonna go exploitation.
Really? 100%?
I'd say exploitation, but it's trying to be a little more.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, this is it's cheaply made, it's cheesy as all fuck. They go balls out on the gore and violence, and the performances are over the top. They didn't rein anybody in. But it has it's trying a little bit to elevate the material with, like, the eye for an eye thing,
yeah.
and then, like, the mother's, like, descent into madness.
Yes.
It's attempting to be more, but it's just not there.
Yeah.
And I think I would go exploitation.
Okay.
On this one. Any other thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
No. Honestly, this was a good one. This is a good recommendation from Bad Taste. This was a good watch. I always find it enjoyable when I see a cover like this. Like, my reaction to this last week was, I don't know about this, but I refused to read the synopsis. I only went off of, like, who was in it and all that shit. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I really don't know about this. It was a good ride. I liked it. Final thoughts? I'm really glad you're in the archive. Welcome home, buddy.
Yes, this is a gem in the collection.
Yes.
I would say.
Did I hide money in this one? I did not. I'm waiting for us. So whenever I get cash, Shawn knows this. Whenever I get cash or he gets cash, we hide the cash in the Blu-rays. I know there's about 45 Blu-rays up there. We have a lot of Blu-rays that have money in it that range from $1 to, I think the highest is like maybe $50. And it's just a nice little savings plan, you know. If you ever find one, you know, you just got to tuck the money back in there and be like, forget about it, don't know about it, you know.
And now all of you know this, and if you know where we live, you're just going to break into our house and steal our money.
If you break in here, I'd steal a fucking camera before the cash and the Blu. There's how many Blu-rays up here?
A lot.
700?
A lot.
I think the count was, you're really going to go through 700 Blu-rays when there's a fucking Black Magic sitting here that's worth a lot, or a fucking M1 chip Apple? Come on, think.
Yeah, I think that brings our discussion on Blood Rage to an end.
Yes.
But don't go anywhere just yet. Stay tuned for the coming attractions.
I don't remember how it goes.
What do you say we get started?
So you want me to tell you the story of my life? I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you all of it.
Gee, how?
I'm flesh and blood, but not human. I haven't been human for 200 years.
From the novel by Anne Rice. From Neil Jordan, the director of The Crying Game.
I've come to answer your prayers. Life has no meaning anymore, does it?
His name is Lestat.
But what if I could give it back to you? Pluck out the pain and give you another life. One you could never imagine. I can see you lying on a bed of satin.
He chose one man. He gave him infinite power. Eternal life. And a daughter who would be forever young.
This is the only real evil left.
And then he took the light of day.
You're a vampire who never knew what life was until it ran out in a red gush over your lips.
I can't stand this any longer.
You made us what we are, didn't you?
God kills indiscriminately, and so shall we.
You like dying? You condemn me to hell! Monster.
One happy family.
Hatred we end her suffering and yours. For do not doubt, you are a killer.
I want some more.
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Stephen Ray, Antonio Banderas, Kirsten Dunst, and Christian Slater. Interview with the Vampire.
I can't say I'm specifically looking forward to this next one. Use your words.
I'm so excited! I stupidly adore this movie. I recently, like within the last couple months, watched this free on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
At work. Because I needed background noise. I don't know how much work I got done. I have always loved Interview with the Vampire. I read the book. Book's better. It really is. Books are always better unless you've got that one gem. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to torture you with vampires.
This is one of those movies that like everybody has blown for my whole life, and I never really cared for it specifically growing up. Like, it was fine. To be perfectly honest, I hope that this will kind of be like Bram Stoker's, and I'll find like something new about it this time that I didn't really care for before.
I'm going to say this now. We're going to disagree on this movie.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we are. Because my opinion is I idolized this movie as a kid. Idolized. Like Event Horizon idolized. And after I watched it again, I still idolize it. Like, for stupid reasons.
And you hate Tom Cruise.
When I say I hate Tom Cruise, I refuse to watch Tom Cruise shit. Hate him. Hate him, hate him, hate him, hate him, hate him. But I didn't hate him when I saw this. because I was a lot younger. I forget when this movie came out, what year it was. It was in the 90s. It was in the early 90s because Kristen Dunst was like 9 or 10 years old when this was done. She's supposed to be playing Claudia. Claudia's like 4 or 5. So, I mean, you can't really get an actress that young at this point.
No.
Trying to keep the cat at bay. So yeah, I'm definitely excited about this. I'm definitely thrilled to sit there for 2 hours with you going, oh dear God, don't do it. With you being like, oh come on, this is gonna suck. So
I don't know, like maybe I'll see something in it this time that like I actually don't hate. But we'll have to see.
Hi, princess.
Like I said, like vampires have never been my thing personally. I've never really enjoyed the lore behind them or anything like that. It's just not. I don't know.
I might have a problem. I have a whole tabletop game based off of vampires right here, and I love it. Come play with us, Shawnee.
No.
You want to play?
I will say that I know this one has a really good cast, so hopefully.
Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt,
Christian Slater,
Antonio Banderas,
yeah.
Kristen Dunst. I can't remember a lot of the actors and actresses' names, like the smaller parts, but man, oh man, like this made me love Brad Pitt, and I've never seen Legends of the Falls, and that's where everybody fell in love with him. I've never seen it, so.
I think I have the VHS for that.
You do, because I've said many times, his first acting gig. What? She's objecting already, guys.
She's getting antsy.
She is.
Yeah. I guess we'll just have to see what this next one brings. For more recommendations on films or coffees you should check out, if you want to check out our movie collection or see our cat, or even just see some fun behind the scenes, chat with us, recommend us some movies, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Grindhouse Podcast. We're on Twitter at GrindhouseCast. You can hang out and chat with Leah on our Discord at Grindhouse Podcast.
Hey guys.
All the links for everything are down in the show notes. Listen to us, give us 5 stars on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. We're on Amazon and Audible now, I guess.
Yeah.
Basically wherever you get your morning fix. New episodes come out first thing every Monday morning. If you're listening to the podcast and you want a more visual experience, subscribe to us on YouTube.
Look, Mom, I'm on YouTube.
Where you get every single episode in its entirety with video. If you like what we're doing and you want to show us your support, all that information is down in the show notes as well. Until next week, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Leah, and this is Autumn.
Thanks for listening, and keep watching.
These nuts.
The shocking nature of many scenes in this film, it is definitely not recommended for the squeamish.